Hello everybody, it's me BooFlame. So you want to get the Wing of Vows from the Dawn of a New Era event, and you want to know how to do it as efficiently and as effectively as possible. So there's a couple strategies you can use, a couple symbols you can use, a couple methods, classes, what map's the best to run, and we'll get right into that right now. For your main weapon, you're going to want to choose the Dark Minion Staff or the Whispering Staff. Whispering Staff is going to increase taint damage, so when you spread it onto trash mobs, they'll be cleared out a little bit faster. For this run, I am going to be using the Dark Minion Staff. It's going to increase Living Helper's damage to the first, second, and possibly the third boss if I use it. Additional weapon does not matter, pick the one with the highest stamina and solidity. Trophies, you're going to want to go with Manti trophies, of course. Mine are green. I would not recommend using damage reduction as a secondary stat. For the amulets, you're going to want to use Living Helper and Explosion of Darkness as the stats across all the board. I do not have them, however, it's going to help a lot with the combo to the bosses. Rings I took an average Warlock build approach, so I didn't use any legendaries and I did not use any dash activation. However, if you do find that one ring set works better for you, by all means use it. Some items you can use is Thorny's Blessing, which is a scroll and increase your movement speed by 40%, or you can use the mobility modulator, which gives you free dashes for 7 seconds. I would recommend using the mobility modulator on the archer and the warlock, while using the Thorny's Blessing, the scroll, on the cryomancer because you mainly walk. I'm going to assume that you already know how to play warlock, so I'll keep it brief. Your first ability is Envoys of Taint. This is your X key and it's used on all of the bosses. Second ability you do not need. Third ability you pick Volatile Curse because you used on the last boss of the instance. Fourth ability you do not need either. For your abilities, you choose Family Broom, which increases Living Helper damage when Taint is applied. Art of Killing is optional. It is your left click in Extermination stance. Next, you need Sudden Death. This will increase Explosion of Darkness, which is necessary when they're below 50% HP. It was a giant burst, especially when you activate Impulse Charge. Then you pick Plague Wind, so this will spread Taint for the full duration, letting you run through the mission with a breeze, killing off trash mobs. Flying on a Broom is necessary for this run to work, so you definitely need this in your kit. It makes your dash go a lot farther. Terrifying Swarm is optional. I never ran it at the start until I looked at it and I saw that it could be useful. Ninth Life is nice. It'll save you from death, so if you're on a run and you die like right at the gate of the first boss, you can keep on going. The reason you do not use Marsh Slime or Witch Circle is because Murder of Crows is too long of an animation and Living Helper doesn't stun bosses. And the last talent you pick is Bird Apocalypse, so this will make all tick damage do more damage and Explosion of Darkness do more damage, which is necessary for the combo for all the bosses. For invasion symbols, it's pretty straightforward. Use all the DPS symbols. All the support symbols you do not need, and most of the tanking symbols you do not need either unless you're having difficulty in the run. For the major invasion symbol, I would fully recommend using Bloodlust. After the first boss, you're always going to be in combat, so you get the added damage for the rest of the run. Another option would be Excitement of Victory. This is great for Explosion of Darkness because after they hit the 30% threshold, you're going to do a lot of damage to the boss. Not everyone is going to have the 41 symbol slots like I do, so I'm going to break this down into tiers. The Ascension Atlas specific symbols, you're going to take Slowing Attacks and pair it with Ruthlessness. This is going to increase your damage by flat 6% to all trash mobs. Then you're going to take Impulse Intensity, Maximum Recoil, Ultimate Strength, Mobilization, and Warrior's Creed. It's going to increase your damage by a flat rate. Double Discharge is nice but not necessary. Element Surprise is very nice. It's going to help with the first boss. Rapid Attack is good for dealing with bosses. When you dash, you increase your damage. Clever Maneuvering is a nice buffer for if you're not feeling that safe in the run, you take this. Forced Respite is not necessary, but nice. Mark of Death is a fantastic DPS symbol. Glorious Triumph is not necessary, however, if you're losing time in a run and you get an execute off, it will help with bosses. Life Energy is nice, however, you shouldn't be taking up any HP orbs. The only reason I take this is to make up for the loss of damage from the Violence build that we'll be running and get a little bit of benefit from the speed boost. Effective Medicine and Red Alert are only necessary if you are running potions. This next tier of symbols are ones that you get for maxing out a class. So you can take the cryo symbol, however I do not take it. You can take the paladin symbol, I don't use it. If you need to, take it. Take the Lightbinder symbol for the extra shields. The Berserker symbol is great for if you lose a little bit of HP, you get more damage. Archer is great, more damage all around. Kinetic symbol is great for the burst from the Explosion of Darkness. Monk symbol is good. Alchemist symbol is good for the extra damage throughout the entire run. And the Warlock symbol is good for increasing Taint's damage. The next tier is Invasion symbols. So you're going to want to take Mighty of the World. It works great with a Strength build. Quantum Capacity is going to increase your damage on Explosion of Darkness in Extermination stance. Reinforced Shields, the little extra shield power is great for the last boss. Snake Bite's going to increase your crit chance, which is always nice. Reaper increases your persistence up to 30%. I never ran it, I can see the benefits of using it. Corner Beast is increase your violence. This is very handy, especially with the method I'm going to teach you. I would take Titan to increase your solidity, or Deliberate Destruction to increase your crushing blow if I had them. These next symbols come from the Divine Specialization. If you do not have the God Atlas, don't worry, pick the ones that you do have. Rumble of War is going to increase your damage when you're surrounded by enemies. This is great throughout the entire run. First Strike is great. It's going to increase your Envoys of Taint on all the bosses. Champion of Power and Royal Hunt are going to increase your damage to all the mobs in the instance. The Heat of Battle is really good. It's going to increase your damage overall as you go through the run. It's going to help with bosses. If you are going to use scrolls, I would definitely take the Understanding of Essence and the Understanding of Matter. For your last two symbols, you're going to take Survival Instinct to increase your might efficiency, and you're going to take Ally's Legacy, which is going to increase your two main stats. Now I know not everyone is going to be running exactly like I am, however, pick and choose from the ones that I recommended and enjoy. To be frank, I'm not sure how optimal this setup is for chapels, however for the 4th, 6th, and 7th chapels you will be taking Violence. The rest is up to you, however you think best suits your playstyle. These are my stats. Now before we can begin, we have to learn a trick called bumping. Bumping is the solution I came up to with the Warlock Dash. Now if you don't know, at the end of a Warlock Dash, you are halted in your forward momentum. So if I dash, I get stopped, and then I can continue my forward path. Again, that's dash, stop, and then I can walk. The solution is bumping. So bumping is when you collide with an object before your dash runs out, and you get curved around that object and you carry your forward momentum. So that red spinning thing, if I dash, I'll bump into it and I'll keep walking past it, retaining my speed. So again, that's dash and then I will forward walk. This is especially useful for running in Kyris because there's a lot of bumps that you can make, and over time all those stops will slow you down. So if you utilize this technique, you're gonna create a much faster runtime. So I'm gonna hit Adventureless, Squad, double click Kyris in the bottom right to get in as quick as possible. Then I move my mouse to a specific area, so I hit continue. Now this first boss has more HP, so you have to get to him fast, and you have to kill all the mobs on the way. So to get into combat, to keep my violence, I dash twice. Then I attack the Winger Troop, and I do a bump. Then I kill these guys with spread taint, and I do another bump. Envoy of taint, 3 stacks of taint, and then switch stance extermination will kill that guy. Now after this point, you just want to keep on going. There's a bump right up here on a billboard where you can get a notepad. 50 extra sworn allies. Another bump on a light post. Spread the taint. This guy, you want to do envoys of taint, 3 taint, and then living helper. Usually that's the most common way that goes down. After that you want to keep going, spreading your taint as you go. This is an optional bump, sometimes you don't always get it. This one is most common. This is also an optional bump. Of course I mess it up. And a really good one is the door. The door helps you get in a lot quicker. And then you curse an envoy of taint to kill him off. If it doesn't work right away, 3 stacks of taint and then extermination of darkness. Now there's one last trick that you can learn, and you might have seen it in that last segment. Normally when you complete a mission, you have to wait for everything to load so you can either change the reward or accept the reward and complete the instance. If you move your mouse in the bottom right hand corner, right above the 10,000th credit mark, and spam click there, you'll be able to accept the instance before it actually shows up. Because I love you, this is the math that I did. My best run was a warlock. I would go cryo last just because you need all the symbol slots pretty much to get the damage out. If you're looking at a consistent run at 1 minute and 22 seconds, from 0 all the way to 10,000, it's about probably 6 hours because you have to take into account load time. Now from the tattoo, the eyes, and the halo at the 2,100 mark, 5,000 mark, and 7,800 mark, those are the times that you're about to get. Now I was listening to some people talk, and they were talking about getting 2-minute runs, and I did their math, and 3-minute runs with a reward. Some of the rewards is iffy. There's 2 strategies basically. You walk the entire way so that you maybe get the ambushes, or you go as fast as possible. I would definitely think the fastest possible would work. One other trick you can do is, if before the first boss you get an ambush, accept that reward, leave, and start a new one. You're going to save time and basically have a faster run that way. If you do it my way, you're basically always going to get a 1 minute and 15 run or a 1 minute and 30 second run. You're never going to get higher or lower than that pretty much. I mean, you can get lower, but it all depends on the run. And then right here we are going to show off the locations for the billboards. All these places will give it. You will cap out, so you have to know that. Ambushes can drop newspapers, and they give 50 sworn allies apiece. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful evening.